All right. Well, what a day. What a great set of speakers, a lot of content. As we wrap up, I just want to go back and summarize some of what we heard today. We kicked things off with Matt Gorman of PwC, gave us a great update on where are the threats coming from, both from the nation state and from the criminal activity involved in that, and a little bit about what they're after, right? The nation state is about espionage, theft of IP, hack and dump for political and damage to brands, and access to operations and critical infrastructure. The criminals, they're after the bucks. They're trying to monetize things, and both of them are using ransomware, not exclusively, but that seems to be, again, where the threat is and growing. Matt's prediction is that will continue to grow, which should frighten all of us as it's going to continue to get worse. And he also talked about where some of the friction points are when he sits down and talks to clients, where they run into trouble in responding to these ransomware threats. Number one, communication with the team, internally within an organization, communication externally. The pay, no pay decision. What are the factors? What are the process? When do you talk to law enforcement and regulators? What are the key indicators? When do you do that? What, when, and how to talk to your board about the breach. Those are all exercises that he recommends. An operational exercise, an executive level, and a board level exercise. I thought that was great. And then he talked a little bit about the SEC and the reporting requirements. What's a material breach versus how much time do you have to report it? The difference between a tabletop exercise and a simulation. And you know that it's about the human and not about the technology. I thought that was a great point. We need to humanize this process. Then we heard from Vince Kearns. Vince from Trend Micro talked to us about the changing landscape of cyber insurance, something that I know we have all experienced as the risk profile went up and the probability of risk grew over the last several years. It got harder and harder to get cyber insurance. The assessments, the questionnaires got more detailed. Now that seems to be leveling off a bit, but it's still a vital part of your protection of your organization is cybersecurity. He talked about what they cover and what they don't, and really where to start when you sit down is to start at the beginning and have the conversation with your broker, have the conversation with your carrier about what they cover, what are the processes, who are the players that they involve in your incident response, the breach coach, which was a new thing that I was not familiar with that he talked about, I thought was really informative as well. Next up was Adam Scamihorn, and Adam talked about RPAS and this degree of dependency where we've invested a lot in tools on the front end for prevention, and we need to balance that out with the people and processes for recovery and resilience, threat identification. We seem to be a little out of balance at times. And the speed to recovery that the modern tools, especially with InterVision, brings, you can change your average downtime from 20 to 24 days to 500 times faster to an hour or more, an hour or less, sorry. And he ran us through a couple of case studies of a food supply chain firm from the Ukraine, a retail provider, as well as a mid-sized organization. And really where marrying the three pieces of RPAS together of managed security, your vCISO, and your recovery with your detection and response really gives you that full breadth of coverage. Then we heard from David Koerner, of Palo Alto Networks, talking about SASE and how to secure the edge, and something that that Palo Alto is calling the ZTNA 2.0, which is a single platform that runs the gamut, as opposed to the best of breed, and how to protect your mobile workforce while they're out and about, how to protect your hybrid workforce. And he had some great things to say about their tool set. And if you missed that presentation, you're going to want to go back and watch that for sure on the recording. Zack Moore then started us up off of break, talking about the Secure Service Edge, SSE, as well as SASE. And again, this concept of protecting the assets of your organization when your employees are not sitting in your corporate headquarters, whether they're remote, whether they're hybrid, whether they're sitting at the Starbucks coffee shop, or whether they're at home working on their network. How do you put the infrastructure, the software, the processes in place to protect them? And Zack talked a lot about consistency, protecting them no matter where they are. And then we just wrapped up with Darren and his discussion of Red Spy 65 and the concept of continuous penetration testing as a service, rather than this point in time. The difference between compliance and security is compliant is a point in time. You've checked all the boxes. Security is making sure you stay secure. And so that continuous pen testing helps with that. And that tied us back to some of the other discussions that we had during the day, cyber insurance, and that great metaphor, that great analogy of the data that Geico, as an example, gathers off your driving tendencies and getting the telemetry off your car, and lowering your insurance rates. Putting things in place that are continuously monitoring your security, continuously alerting you to those challenges, is vitally important in this day and age. So why InterVision? I think, I started this day off with talking about relationships and the relationships that InterVision brings to the table in the marketplace. But I want to add to that a theme that I heard throughout today: people, your people and InterVision's people. It's about the people, and InterVision brings the best in class to bear on your situation, to bear on your security. It doesn't get any better than the talent that InterVision can bring to the table. And one of the things that InterVision really does and does well is they meet you where you are. If you're just at the beginning, it'll start with an assessment. It'll start with design and flow through implementation. But maybe you just need help. I love the slide that Zack showed that talked about how we implement SSE, that really goes across the board to all of our services. It starts with that assessment to understand the challenges that you're facing and understand where you are in the process. Then we bring together the design team and we meet with your team. We do it together, those joint design sessions. We can sit beside you in implementation, or we can do the implementation for you and hand it off to you. You have integration challenges, we can help you with those integration challenges. We provide advanced services and we provide managed services. So end to end, we become an extension of your team. Your account executive becomes your trusted advisor. Your pre-sales engineer helps you with those design challenges. Our professional services help fill that middle. And our operations center and our SOC help you manage on the day-to-day. So we've got you covered. Please reach out if you have any questions. If you want to watch the recording, we will make that available to you. This is Jeff Tunn for all of InterVision. Thank you very much for watching today.